Well, let's hope that it's not as eventful as 2014. I think the prospects are good. I think people realise on all sides that things got out of hand last year. Certainly the Chinese and the Vietnamese, I think, have taken significant steps to try and de-escalate their rivalry out at sea. And I think it would be a great surprise if we see another big event like that taking place. But you can never predict exactly what's going to happen. I mean, there are signs that, for example, oil could be another trigger. For example, there is a block of seabed which both the Chinese and the Vietnamese claim off the southern eastern coast of Vietnam, and there has been activity from both sides. And Talisman has a Vietnamese contract to drill that bit, and a company called Bright Oil, based in Hong Kong, has a Chinese contract to drill the same bit of seabed. So that could be a moment for some kind of confrontation. And there could be something similar perhaps off the Philippines. But I think in general people are aware of quite how fragile the situation is, and I think they're taking steps to avoid confrontation. Well, I think ASEAN should kind of enjoy its moment in the spotlight, really. I mean, this is a time when everybody wants to woo ASEAN or woo each individual Southeast Asian country. And this is a time when they'll be able to play their position to maximum advantage to both sides. The disputes, we need to remember that I think there are two kinds of disputes in the South China Sea. There are the sort of big questions of freedom of navigation and the rule of law and that kind of thing to do between the US and China. And then there were the territorial disputes. And the danger really is if the two sets of disputes merge or become linked in some ways. As long as they're kept separate, then we should see some stability. But I mean, this is a time when everybody wants to be friends with Southeast Asian countries, and so there should be sort of bonuses for their affections, whether they be sort of diplomatic prestige or kind of development projects, whatever it might be. This should be a good time for ASEAN, really. Yeah, I mean, just going around the talks that I've been giving about my book, I've seen increasing numbers of American diplomats and thinkers and think tank people kind of working on this issue. I mean, as I say in the book, back in 2008, when CSIS in Washington tried to have a conference on Southeast Asia, South China Sea, almost nobody was interested. You can't say that now. I mean, this is a time when there's an awful lot of thought being put into this region, whether in Washington or people out here. And the level of interest is much greater than it's been for certainly sort of 10 years, perhaps something like that. So yes, there are distractions. I mean, and Ukraine is obviously a big one, and the Middle East is another significant one. But I think the US government is big enough to be able to do more than one thing at the same time.